The federal government has described the strike that's been declared by the joint health sector unions, JOHESU, joint health sector unions and Assembly of Healthcare Professionals, JOHESU, as unnecessary, ill-timed and also illegal, they say. The government says its commitment to the health sector was manifest and irrevocable. The health workers had declared strikes starting today over the inability of the federal government to meet their demands. However, the government has directed various unions under JOHESU not to go ahead with the strike, saying the Ministry of Labour and Employment had apprehended the dispute with the consultation initiated on Thursday, September 9th, which was apparently still ongoing.
Well, and joining us to discuss these developments is the Lagos State Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Allied Health Professionals, NUAHP, and Joint Health Sector Union, that is JOHESU, Comrade OLATUNJI TAJUDEEN. Glad to have you join us, OLATUNJI.
Thank you for having me. Good.
Like you just had us read a while ago, the federal government declares this strike illegal, and it says is asking all those operating under the umbrella of JOHESU not to abide or go ahead, with the strike. Are you people obeying that? And what's your take on what the federal government is saying?
Federal government is not being sincere with their approach to issues at hand. Why did I say this? These are problems that have been lingering since 2014. And JOHESU has made enough representation, enough dialogue to convince government to attend to our issues. And for clarity purposes, for now, it is only federal health institutions in Lagos State. There are 4 in number. We have the Federal Medical Center, Ebutemeta. We have Lagos University Teaching Hospital, that's LUT, Daraba. And we have National Orthopedic Hospital, Igbobi. And we equally have Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital that is starting the 7 days warning strike. It is after the 7 days warning strike, if there is no concrete agreement reached between us and federal government, that is when states and local governments will be directed to join the strike. So for clarity purpose, it affects only federal health institutions in Lagos State for now.
Thanks for that clarification. But Mr. Tajudeen, how do you react to the claim by the federal government that this strike is illegal? And the government is referring to ILO statutes and also the Trade Disputes Act of 2004 to argue that this strike that you are embarking on is illegal. Do you have a counter to that?
Yes, we follow Trade Union Act strictly by informing them, giving them notice, 15 days notice before this strike was embarked upon. And we had a congress on Saturday/Sunday, of which the members gave us the go-ahead that the way they see federal government, they are not being sincere to attend to our problem. Hence, we have to go ahead with the strike.
All right, Olatunji, let me just follow up on what Leila asked. Actually, the Ministry of Labour is saying that all health workers or essential services are statutorily barred, from strikes during emergencies by both the ILO statutes and the Trade Dispute Act of 2004, and we're in COVID-19. Now, I want you to add to this the fact that negotiations, according to the federal government, are still ongoing so they wonder why the union is embarking on this action. If negotiations are still ongoing, why do you have to stop?
Yeah. Federal government is biased in terms of the way they respond to issues. Of recent, National Association of Resident Doctors also declared strike, national strike. We are both in public health institutions, and they even directed all their members to withdraw services from COVID-19. For now, we are not directing our members to withdraw their services in COVID-19 isolation centers, because it's very painful. In fact, it's a very harsh decision for us to go on. If anything happens to Nigerians, they should hold federal government responsible. The Minister for Health and the Minister of Labour and Productivity. They have a way of responding to issues. When it comes to other health workers, they will declare it illegal. When it comes to medical doctors, they will say they will start engaging them. So there's no concrete response from all the engagements we had with them so far.
Yeah, but they're engaging you. They're engaging you, and they also had to, I don't know, for want of a better phrase to use, they did call the doctors to order, and the doctors did apologize for even, going on strike. I'm sure you're aware of that, before they eventually called it off.
That is the second strike they were embarked on this year. This is our own fault. We rarely go on strike. It is when we are pushed to the wall. The engagement you are talking about, we have 6 issues on ground. They have not even attended to 1. So which type of engagement are we saying? The other time we had the last strike was 2018. To be specific, June 2018. And the same issues that we discussed that particular year is still reoccurring now. So they are not being sincere with our issues. If they are being sincere, by now they should have solved, even fulfill 4 out of 6. Well, it will be okay.
That's a point that you do make, the fact that out of six things that you did bring forward to the federal government, only 1 thing so far has been fulfilled. And this is not since the start of the pandemic. This is over a couple years. So I can see why this is actually a problem for JOHESU at this point in time. And I'm thankful that you came on here to expand and give us that clarity. But the government also claims that they have shown so much commitment to the health sector. We know now that 31 billion naira has been spent so far. That's of our COVID funds in terms of COVID relief. And that's 84% of our COVID funds being spent so far. Yet we still have our healthcare workers wanting to go on strike. So something is really not adding up here. What would you say about how those funds have been spent, seeing as you're still very unhappy and a lot of doctors are very unhappy and frontline healthcare workers?
Majority of those funds are dispensed on building isolation centers and bringing in infrastructure and equipment to work with. Nigerian situation is just that we enjoy fire brigade approach. We wait until an incident happens before we respond. And when you want to improve on a sector, you look at, holistically, look at everybody in that sector. Don't concentrate on one particular side and felt, we have disbursed so amount of money and there shouldn't be any serious problem. Part of the issues are court judgments not being obeyed. Competent courts gave judgments on our issues and federal government refused to obey. So
let's
rule of law is part of what we are protesting.
All right. Let's just, before we let you go, briefly, break down for us. You mentioned 6 issues. What are these issues?
Yes. There was a memorandum of understanding signed between us and federal government on COVID-19 allowance because we are all exposed. In fact, over 1,000 members of our group is positive for COVID-19. Though we lost some of them, but some recovered. So we enter into an agreement with federal government that this is the percentage of consolidated salary they will pay to our members. But when they want to implement that payment, they change the what is in the agreement. Instead of paying 50,000, they pay 10%, sorry. Instead of paying 50% of our consolidated salary, they pay 10%. So that is one. Secondly, we have been talking about review of CONHES salary structure, which has lingered since 2014. That of CONMES, which is meant for doctors, have been paid since 2014 with arrears, but ours refused to be implemented up till date. And the then minister, that's Professor, the immediate past minister.
Yeah, I can't remember. Just go ahead, I can't remember.
Yes, so he was the one that even came out openly to tell us that we are fighting for equality with doctors. We are not fighting for, our entry point is different, our salary is different. So why should we be saying we want to make sure we are equal with doctors? So the issue is that for peace to reign in health sector, there must be fairness, equity, and justice. What you did to one, you must do to others. We constituted 95% of workforce in health sector. As we are on now, the hospital will not run at all because our members are in the majority. The only people we are not in control of are the doctors. So if you feel we are not important, then we will also react. There's no way, there's a limit to how you can push animal, not to talk of human being.
You're correct there. All right, we understand your plight. After the 7th, I think it's 1 week.
It's 7 days warning strike, and it's affecting only federal health institutions for now.
All right.
All state health institutions, they are fully
working.
They are working, and the local governments too.
All right. After the 7 days warning strike, what gives? What will be your next action?
We'll call the Congress. We'll review. If they call us, if there's any substantial agreement that we feel it is satisfactory, we will not embark on indefinite strike.
Okay.
Because it's painful to us too. Our families also access, they patronize public hospitals. So this decision was just too painful for us to take.
One can only imagine. And many thanks to you, Mr. OLATUNJI TAJUDEEN, for coming on Newsday today to tell us more about your side of the story. That's the chairman of the NUAHP and JOHESU here in Lagos State. Have a great day.